We have a very compelling museum and historic site located in the heart of Bergen County, a public-private effort that created the Green Oasis, historic Newbridge Landing, only 5.6 miles from the George Washington Bridge. It is over 13 acres that has been preserved. We are on one of the busiest roads in Bergen County with a lot of visibility. Bergen County Historical Society was invited to make our headquarters here at the State Historic Site, the Steuben House, in 1939. In 1944, we bought over 8 acres of adjacent property to protect the Steuben House from the auto parts junkyard. You may remember it, located at the corner of Hackensack Avenue and Main Street in River Edge, New Jersey. Through the historic Newbridge Landing State Park Commission, we were able to get rid of the junkyard in 2005, remediated in 2010. At that time, we also acquired the lot of the former Pizza Town at the opposite corner, which gives us plenty of parking for the museum site. The Society has been collecting artifacts since our founding in 1902. In fact, the first artifact was the 15-foot-long dugout canoe. We are not sure if it was made by Native Americans or early colonists, but it was found in Hackensack in 1868 in a stream bed and donated to the Bergen County Historical Society by 1902. We have the material culture of Bergen County and artifacts found during archaeological digs to exhibit. Our collections include quilts and coverlets and artifacts of the American Revolution, paintings of landscapes and people, furniture, tools, and needlework by girls and young women. One of the most extraordinary items is an 1815 George Washington morning art, 30-inch square, a needlework with oil painting inserts in the original Eglamise frame. Hopper was a patriot, with his house and mill in Hoogstrate, which was just about burned to the ground by the British for lending housing and arms storage to the American Continentals in 1780 during the War of Outposts. By 1802, his tavern is back in business and has a 70-inch tall tavern sign with President Thomas Jefferson's portrait. At historic Newbridge Landing, we have a multi-layered story going back to ancient times that remembers Tontoqua and his people. Ancient local deeds bear his name. Many of the artifacts reflect the Jersey Dutch settlement traditions, including the unique architecture to Bergen County. We have 2 sandstone houses with a gambrel roof. Because of the strategic location of the Steuben House and the 1744 bridge, it was a constant arena of war throughout the American Revolution. In 1780, there was a council of war here, where Generals Washington, Steuben, Lafayette, Hamilton, Irvine, Sterling, St. Clair, Wayne, Knox, Hand, Nixon, Clinton, Glover, Huntington, and Stark were all there when they got the bad news about losses in South Carolina. They accompanied General Enoch Poor to his grave in Hackensack. We still have a ceremony every Memorial Day at his graveside across from the courthouse. At the end of the war, the confiscated Zabriskie Steuben House was presented to Steuben along with 40 acres in gratitude for his services during the war as drill master of the Army. He trained the troops, literally farmers and shopkeepers, to fight effectively. Steuben is considered crucial to winning the war. In fact, Washington asked him to document his training in a drill manual for the Army. We have 2 copies in our collections. Steuben was notified by General Philemon Dickinson about the gift of the property along the Hackensack River. Dickinson describes the house as war damaged by 1783. Steuben summered at the Steuben House, and by his own advertisement in 1788, he describes it as recently restored. Bankrupt, goes to sell it rebuilt, back to the Zabriskie family who had sided with the Crown. They had fled to New York City. Generations of people lived in the Steuben House, and they had jobs associated with life on the river. But perhaps our most famous story is how close it was for Washington and his army. Almost came to being entrapped on the peninsula between the Hudson River and Hackensack River, and only narrowly escaped to cross the bridge at Newbridge on November 20th, 1776, as described by Thomas Paine in The American Crisis. The Army went on to have a morale-boosting victories a month later in Trenton and Princeton. We have documented over 100,000 visitors are coming through the museum site each year. We were even able to get the nearby train station renamed Newbridge Landing, connecting the entire metro region and beyond to us. A new visitor center museum will welcome people from all over the world to historic Newbridge Landing and Bergen County. As a volunteer nonprofit organization, we're asking for your help that we may better serve the public at this extraordinary historic site as we ready for the 250th founding of our country.